Oh, I'm excited. Look, when they told me I was coming, I was really excited. You know, I was here a week ago. We got a chance. We had our 35th anniversary. Got a chance to see all the guys, Lance, Gibby, Tram, Lou, all the guys, Howard Johnson, Jack Norris, all those guys. Just having all those guys back again just brought back so many memories. So it was a lot of fun for me.
Take us back to November 27th, 1981. Remember what happened?
Yeah, 81. Yeah. 81. I remember that I got traded. I got traded to Detroit. You know, I left Chicago, and they thought I was going to be a franchise player for a long time in Chicago because had a great 4 or 5 years, actually 7 years, and had been an all-star for a couple of years and things like that. So, but it was destined. I had an opportunity to play and be a world champion and play with guys like Lou Whitaker. All of us was about the same age, Jack. All of us was within 1 or 2 years of each other. So for me, it was the best thing that could have happened.
But at the time, what did you think back then getting traded happened, but
well, you never think, because, I kind of controlled it. I was very immature. I'm from California, so when they traded and got Pudge from Boston, I was the highest paid player. They had I was going to sign a 5-year deal, and then when they got Pudge, they announced that Pudge was going to be the highest paid player, and just a kid, just don't understand the ramifications of having a player like that play for you and play with you. I said, I'm out of here. I'm gonna file for free agency after I had 1 more year left. And they said, no, you're not. He said, you're out of here. We're gonna trade you. We're not getting nothing for you. We're gonna get something for you. So I was really happy being traded to Detroit, and I know that Sparky was really excited. And I remember the first call I got from him. He said, "You're exactly what we need." And that really made me feel great, And then playing for Sparky, then, I signed a 10-year deal with Tigers. I signed 5 and a 5-year extension. So, and that was when they started that, everybody was saying that collusion stuff, So, so I was on the contract for a long time. They said, you're going to be here forever, Sparky. So I was excited, man, and I didn't want to play anywhere else. So Detroit was where I wanted to be, and these fans were great. Fans always treated me like this was my home. Every time I come into Detroit, even now, I represented Detroit about 2 or 3 times at the player draft, and I've thrown out the first pitch so many times I stopped counting. So it's just been great. They've been good to me, and the fans have been great. I tell everybody that, that was the part that really got us over the hump, was coming to the ballpark every day knowing that we had the kind of fans that we had. Bless you, boys. Every day we picked up the paper, they were talking about that. And I think that's what pushed us over, because when you got off to a 35-5 start, everybody said, well, all you guys got to do is play 500 and you should win your. But remember, Toronto was like, they had only lost 10 games when we had lost 5, I think, and they were chasing us. And we fought together the whole time, and we just were determined not to not win. And remember, in '83, we were just behind Baltimore. We almost had a shot. We all believed that we could have won it, but nobody could beat Baltimore but us. If you go look, we the only team that really could beat Baltimore. And so when we came into spring training in '84, we were just ready. We were primed. They made some changes, added a few guys, and we were ready to go.
There were just iconic moments, like you mentioned the 35-5 start, Jack Morris's no-hitter on April 7th. You were a part of that game. Bergman's 12-pitch at bat that is still being talked about, that needed to happen in order for you guys to really get.
That's right. That's exactly right. What you say is very true, and that's why it took all of us. You know, we were truly a unit. And it's nothing more beautiful and wonderful when you have a group of guys that can come together with the same oneness of mind to accomplish a goal and to see it come to fruition. And that's what happened to us. You know, all of us, we fought tooth and nail every day. We went out there and fought. We were just determined not to let what we had accomplished, the kind of start we had, to fail. And so we fought every day. We worked together. You know, obviously we had some injuries and things that came up, but, you know, we had guys like Rusty Kuntz that stepped it up, you know. All these guys, you know, Howard Johnson, Tommy Brookins was sharing a little bit of the third base, and then when Tram went down, I think we had Tommy playing some shortstop. I mean, we just believed in each other, and we fought hard to get it done. And, man, it's just, when you think back, we'll have a bond for the rest of our lives together because, you know, we all went out there, and I think that we love each other because of what we accomplished. And it was such a great feeling coming back, you know, to Detroit about a week ago and seeing all the guys, you know, seeing Tram and Lou and all those guys. It was just a wonderful thing to come back, and everybody was just so happy to see everybody. And, you know, for me, I realized that it's something that will be with me for the rest of my life. You know, obviously I've got a chance to share it with my kids and what we accomplished, and, you know, and also we're working on with young kids now. That's what I do. We've had over 70 first-round draft choices, if you can believe that. You know, we've had Prince Vilder. All those kids have come out of the Juice program, the Chet Lemon's Juice program. So we're just excited, and those are the kind of things that I share with our kids. I talk about the Lou Whitakers and the Alan Trammels and the Kirk Gibsons and those guys, Lance Parrish. I'll talk about those guys when we talk about what we accomplished in '84. So.
Did it hit you guys at the time, 35-5, just how special that was? Did you guys have that full perspective in the moment at the beginning?
Well, we were trying to. If I'm not mistaken, I think we had won 17 games in a row, and I think we had a chance of breaking a record on the road, and we wanted to win. We felt that we were just going to keep going. And then we walked into Seattle, and we looked over there, and we don't think they were walking on the ground. Their feet was just like, they had 50,000 people. I don't think they had anybody before we had come because, you know, they were just having a normal season. And when we went to play those guys, they brought the brooms out on the last day, and they said we're going to sweep. And they ended up, we got out of there with our tails tucked between our legs. So happy to get out of there, but we said we got something for you. So we came right back. We had a 4-game series in Detroit, and we ended up winning 3 out of the 4 games. So it's you never think that you're going to do something as wonderful as what we accomplished in '84. Those are things you dream about. You say, wow, man, if we could do this or we could do that. You don't ever think they're going to really happen. And for us to get off to one of the best starts ever in the history of the game, that sets us apart from so many people. And to be able to do that and to have the kind of team that we had, you know, I think people thought that we were going to be a dynasty for a long time, that it'll be hard to beat us. But, you know, like anything, things happen. We ended up losing Gibby, and we lost Lance. You know, we lost some of our guys that were intricate parts of we lost Jack. It's just got to be, you know, more difficult. But no, I didn't think about, you know, ever being 35-5 or having a start like that.
Sorry, guys, we gotta
No. You got to watch your buddies Jack Morris and Alan Trammell going to the Hall of Fame last summer. Do you think Lou Whitaker belongs there too?
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, all you have to do is look at the numbers, and he will be. I think everybody believed that he will eventually get to the Hall. We don't understand why they didn't do it last year. It would have been really nice to have all 3 of them be inducted at the same time because they're great players. You know, we believe that if all of us had to play together, we'd all be in the Hall. If we had to stay together for all those years, look, Lance was on his way, you know, before he left. You know, you have guys that were doing extraordinary things. If I had stayed in Detroit and played all my years in Detroit, shit, we might be talking about me being a Hall of Famer, you know? So it's just we had some guys that were unique players. They were great players, and it's just unfortunate that it's taken so long for people to realize what our guys have accomplished. And back to your original question, yes, I think Lou should definitely be a Hall of Famer. I mean, all you have to do is watch what Lou did every day. He took the field. He went out there and just played. Lou wasn't flashy. He didn't do anything. He just turned every double play that he had, opportunities he had. He made great plays up the middle. He never dove. Lou was not a guy to get his uniform dirty, but he didn't have to because he covered so much ground, you know. Tram, the same way. Jack, unbelievable. I mean, he won 3 world championships. He was one of the winning pitchers in the 80s. I mean, how do you not become a Hall of Famer when you do the things that those guys have done? And like I said, we have some other guys that if all of us had a play from the beginning to the end together, we all could have done some extraordinary things.
You guys had some, and I say this respectfully, complimentary, some serious personalities on that team.
Very, very serious.
So there was a lot of individuals, right?
Between Jack and Lance and Gibby and Chet and Lou, I mean, we just were like different. You know, we are, you know, it's like putting a group of leaders on the same team. You know, you didn't need anybody to lead us. We kind of led by example, and all of us were leaders. But the one person, if we were to say, that really stood out and was really a leader on our team, it was Darrell Evans. Because we all respected what Darrell had accomplished. And Darrell stepped right in, hitting bombs and, you know, hitting home runs. I think he hit 40 home runs with us his first year or second year, whatever year it was. So we just had a lot of respect for him. We respected his age, what he brought to the team, his stability. That's what we respected. But all of us we fought all the time. We were guys, you know, it's funny because Sparky would come out and Jack would say, "Why you coming out here? You ain't got nobody that's gonna do anything better than what I'm doing." And then Lance would get in the clubhouse with Lance would say, "Look, that's why nobody like you, because you say stuff like that." No, but you know, it's just that's what we did. You know, we loved each other, even though you like family. You know, sometimes you always have things that you don't agree with. You know.
Did winning allow you to get away with a little more hot dogging maybe than? Or I'm not, you know, just having fun, I guess.
I don't know if winning did that to us. We just was confident, man. I mean, we took the field. We didn't care who we played. I mean, Jack threw a game against the California Angels. They had a star-studded team of Hall of Famers that you could mean. Reggie Jackson, Rod Carew. I mean, it was like all of them were studs. When Jack threw, I think he threw a shutout or something, and he said, "They're old now." I mean, we thinking like, man, these guys we grew up idolizing, right? We love these guys. Jack, don't say stuff like that. But those guys are just, you know, it's just that we believed in ourselves, and we all believed in each other, and we fought hard all the time. We didn't give up. We didn't take anything for granted. We didn't take winning for granted. We just fought all the time, you know. I mean, how can you find a group of guys more competitive than the ones we had? Can you imagine? Think about Kirk Gibson. Man, he's an animal, man. He was when we were playing together, you did not want to play with anybody but a Kirk Gibson. You know, that's just how we were. We all showed it differently. Lou Whitaker was quieter with his, but he was just as confident. Lou had no doubt about what he was doing. You know, he went out there and just did it. Tram, same way. You know, all those guys, and I can tell you that none of them played the game for accolades. I can tell you right now, Alan Trammell didn't care if Gibby had got the most valuable player in the World Series. We didn't care. We all cared about winning. And that's what you get when you have a group of guys that are the same age, and it don't matter. It doesn't really matter about playing the game and just playing it if it don't mean anything. We wanted the game to mean something when we were in July and August and September. We didn't want to just go out there and be playing mindless games because it's going to get my batting average up and, you know, keep ourselves doing some extraordinary things as far as numbers are concerned. We want to win. You know, once you play like 6 or 7 years, you don't want to just play the game to be playing it. You want to win. You know, and that's what we were. All of us, like, you know, I was 19 years old, 20 years old when I was in the big leagues. You know, Lou Tram, they were real young, you know. All of us were real young. And we just went out there and just played. I love playing with those guys, man. Like I said, the bond that we have will be forever.
I want to ask you about
last question.
your style of catching the ball.
Yes.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You just drifted under it. You didn't
Yes.
even put your hands up, and then when the ball got about 10 feet from you, you just
Yeah.
kind of did. Where did that come from? And
Just-
every kid my age tried to do it. Our managers and coaches, Chet, wouldn't let us. Okay?
I love it.
Yeah.
You're right, they did. You know, it's funny because the reason why I had confidence in what I did was because if you've seen me before a game, you would know why. I took like 100, 150. When I came to center field, it was like a part of the Red Sea. All the pitchers like went to the right, they went to the left. It was me all by myself. And like Gibby said at the last, he said, look, we had Chet Lemon and Chet Lemon and Chet Lemon and all outfield. But it wasn't like that. Those guys were great players, and what they did was allow me to be Chet. You know, Gibby played, and on the right field line, he covered all that area, so we could cover the gap areas because he said that I was off to the races as soon as the ball was hit. But back to your original question, the why I was confident about just catching the ball like that is because that's all I did all the time. I caught the ball every practice. In the spring training, I worked endlessly catching fly balls, going to the right, going to the left, because I needed to be confident. Look, it was times, this is no exaggeration, it was times when we were playing and the ball was hit, and those guys were already in the dugout before I caught it. I used to say, I remember Skip said, look, what happens if he dropped the baseball? He ain't got anybody to throw it to. And I told him, I said, no, I don't have anybody to throw it to, Coach, because they're gone. But that's how it was. I mean, I did it all the time. And I felt confident, and I just believed that wherever you hit it, if it hit my glove or anything, I was going to get to it. So.
And Sparky didn't give you any grief about it.
No, Skip knew by that time I had like the most 500 the most 400 put out seasons. I had led the American League and the most putouts in all of baseball. I still have that record, you know. And then I proceeded to have the most 400 putout seasons. So, you know, after a while, you just take it for granted. You know, the ball hit the Chet, let's go. You know, nobody worried about it. Look, Lou and them didn't even run back. They said we didn't even go back on the grass, because if we went back on the grass, he's just gonna catch it. He never let us catch the ball. I laughed. I said, well, Lou, I'm the captain in the outfield. I got to take every fly ball. Tram is the captain in the infield. He has to take all the fly balls. So I never let him take them if they were on the grass. I just ran up and caught the balls.